Today we're going to talk about orchid pollination. So most orchids have both male and female parts. So when you're doing a pollination, you can either use one plant, which will do a self-pollination, or you can do a cross-pollination using two plants. So for today's demonstration, because the Cattleya orchid has one of the largest blooms, I'm going to show you the different orchid parts and explain pollination using this particular plant. In order to understand the process of pollination, we'll first go over the parts of this orchid bloom. So these 5 areas are the petal, this is the lip area, and in here is the really important part. This contains the column, the anther, and the stigma. And right behind here, in this area, is where the ovaries are. So when pollination occurs, this area will begin to swell right in the stem of the bloom. So for demonstration purposes, I've removed the bloom from the plant. When you're doing the actual pollination, you want to leave the bloom attached to the plant. But in order for you to see how the pollination occurs, I need to remove the bloom to show you the details. So right in here, this is the column. This is the anther that contains the pollen. And right back here, in here, is the stigma. It's really sticky. So what I'm going to do is take the anther cap off. And you can see that it has that yellow substance. The yellow substance is the pollen. So what you want to do is you want to take that pollen and put it in this area right behind. And it's a really, really sticky area. You want to just put it in that area. And that's how you pollinate. So remember that when you pollinate, you want to be sure that the bloom is still attached to the plant, and you just take off the anther cap and pollinate onto the stigma as is. So now I'm going to show you another plant that has already been pollinated. So here you can see that the ovaries are swollen. So this is this part, this same part, except it's a lot larger now. And this part that looks really brown and dry, this is the old bloom. So it's really important to keep the bloom on the plant so that the ovary can develop, and then the seed pod will start to ripen. And in about 9 to 12 months, the seed pod will be ready for tissue culturing. So one thing to note about pollination is that sometimes pollination doesn't occur. So for example, if you look at this plant, there were 3 flowers that could have been pollinated and only 2 of them were successful. So when you're doing your pollination, you want to be sure to maybe do about 3 to 4 different flowers, and that way you can be sure that at least one of them will catch. Alright? Thanks for watching!